Hey guys, Pete here, HVAC Greatness. You know the really weird dude at the club that's always trying to pick up the chicks and all he does is weird them out and turn them off and he don't understand why, so he keeps trying harder. That's you trying to sell heating and air conditioning if you don't understand the game. Don't hate the player, hate the game. Guys, this is a psychological do. You like my background? This is a psychological approach, just like with any relationship. If you're trying to meet somebody of the opposite sex, or if you're trying to pick up a customer, we're trying to create attraction, right? So today I want to share with you the top 3 things you need to consider in persuasive sales. First thing to understand is that selling is it's a subconscious decision. When people buy, it's based on, they think it's based on logic. You think it's based on logic. Heck, you're trying to sell them using logic, but it's actually hardwired in them at a subconscious level. And there are certain things that they are doing that currently don't include you in their decision-making process. What we want to do is position you to be the best option on those subconscious conclusions. Now, it's not hypnosis or anything manipulative, no more so than, let's say, a pretty lady who puts makeup on, rouge on her face, a brassiere, and all the things to make her subconsciously attractive to a guy. The guy's not thinking, wow, look at her hair. Wow, look at her fingernails. It's just one big feeling and impression. That's what you have to look at when you're out there trying to attract your customers. And that's why the packaging is so important. So let's talk about number 1. You need to speak to the subconscious mind. Now, in order to do that, you have to do so. You have to understand what those elements are. So in today's game, it's getting tighter and tighter. The competition is getting heavier and heavier. So by implementing subconscious persuasion, or let's say attractiveness, at every customer touch point, what this does is it increases the possibility or probability that they're going to continue to show interest in you, maybe even grow that interest. I'm going to give you one right now. This is at the sales point. This is when your technician is in the home or when your comfort advisor is in the home. There are about 7 key buttons, emotional buttons, that automatically make a person say yes. And the big 2 are, number 1 is the friendship button. And the friendship button is what we call rapport in sales. Are you like me? If so, I may like you, right? And so that is a natural skill set that salespeople tend to have. And sometimes it's a little bit difficult for others who don't have that natural gift of gab or gift of interaction with other people. But there are techniques that you can learn that will help you create that that trigger. And so the other one, besides the friendship, is called the authority button or the authority trigger. Now, this one you can do really well if you set everything up right. And what this means is the first one, they perceive you as a friend. The second one, they perceive you as the authority, somebody who knows what they're doing. Now, emotionally and subconsciously, I want somebody who's going to know what they're doing, working on my very expensive heating and air conditioning equipment or installing it, and not somebody who can potentially damage it and leave me with problems for the next 10, 15 years, whatever. And if you can blend the 2, the friendship and the authority, as well as the other 5, now you have multiples of probability that you're going to get the sale. It just increases those percentages with every layer that you add. So we want to always approach every customer interactive, not just logically, because we have to be talking to them logically while we're giving the impression subconsciously. Okay, that makes sense. So we have to communicate subconsciously. Number 2 is the sales funnel approach. A sales funnel, if you don't know, is a model that people use in sales. So they run an ad and this many people get in. Then there's another funnel that's a little bit smaller that has a call to action. And so, most, a lot of people will leave. A lot of people are going to click the button and they're going to go into that funnel because they clicked the call to action. Maybe they went to your website. And then on the website, that's another funnel, right? In which they can, you're going to lose some people. And then, but some of the people are going to keep. And ultimately, let's say you're going out to the house and that's your final funnel, and you go on 3 estimates and you get 1 sale. So you lose 2 and 1 goes through. So every time the funnel goes down, with every step, you have the possibility of losing a customer if you don't do certain things right. It's kind of like a baton race, right? When you're running a relay race and they pass the baton, somebody drops the baton, sale gone. So what we have to do is consider the different touch points. Let me see if I don't have a file here. Okay, here we go. I'm going to screen share with you real quick. Maybe. All right, so this is a little file that we did. This is over in our mastermind group. And what we're doing is we're doing a journey mapping sheet. So we started the website. This is the first touch point let's say our branding and our marketing, advertising. We're going to consider all these different things, like what are the customer expectations regarding what we do, right? What are their typical emotions? What are their current practices, friction points, best practices? And so we look for success metrics. So when we're building our website, when we're building our brand and our website, these are our first 2 funnels. If we have a brand that attracts a lot of people, we get more people to the website. If we got a crappy brand that doesn't, we don't necessarily get a lot of people. So let me see if I can give you another example. I'm going to go on. This is a company that we just rebranded. You'll like this one. Let's see here. So they basically had a brand, right? Here's their little company right here, and there's their van. And so obviously there's not a whole lot of appeal there as to why you should do business with this particular company. But then we came up with this digital version. This is the owner, and they're building a brand based on them being in business for generations. They've been around a long time, right? What does that look like in the real world? Well, they just wrapped it. So here it is. This is what's going to be pulling in the driveway. Right? This makes a big difference. And when they're dressed properly and they have a proper packaging and things like this, what we end up doing is we're increasing the amount of retention from the very get-go. This is our branding. Same thing should be true on our website. What is your bounce rate? People sticking around, that initial call, when they call you on the telephone, what is their emotions? Right? What are the current practices? What are the most people bounce off the phone call and say no thank you? What is the reason? How could you have handled that better? Can we build that in part of your process? So everything is a funnel. It starts at that first impression. Now, at the first impression, you can make the funnel bigger and attract more people, or you can modify that funnel in such a way that you attract a certain type of people. You attract people that are more likely to want what you have to offer. And you do that through intelligent marketing with the psychology built into this. This is what's called a positioning strategy. Your marketing position. Do you have a strategy, or is your strategy, hey, you got heating and air? We do heating and air. And, just FYI, that makes you a commodity if you're just like everybody else. And so the other piece is, do you sell products or do you sell solutions to pain and negative emotions? If you don't know what your customers' primary values are, your high-end customers, then you haven't done your homework. You should know exactly what it is that customers subconsciously are looking for, and what it is that subconsciously they're trying to avoid, their pains, their uncertainties. Let's say that in your market, you've got these big selling companies and all they want to do is sell, sell, sell. Their pain is they don't want just another selling tech coming out to work on their furnace or air conditioner, right? So how do you approach that? So in your marketing position, you position yourself as, we don't sell, we do service, right? So you have a catchy phrase for that. You market to that so that your funnel has very specific people going in, and your retention rate tends to stay better as you get down to the point where you're at the call. And if your process allows you to inform your customer in a technician way, in a way that customers want, they're more likely to invest in that and raise your average ticket and raise their average level of service that they received. Everybody wins. The technician's not selling. He's out there just doing a better job. He wins his ego, company's reputation. This is how it's done, guys. And so those are the three key things that I would encourage you to do if you want to ding, 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 like if you want to create persuasion without having to try to talk people into stuff that you know they don't want. Don't sell people stuff they don't want. Become the epitome of what they do. Pete Ramsey here, HVAC Greatness. If you like this one, a bit impromptu, was on the fly, but I wanted to get this out to you right away. Take care. Bye-bye.